love about this that I always say is whenever I joined World Ventures, I was definitely not a champion at World Ventures yet, but World Ventures was a champion to the company. And so that was a cool thing, was because I didn't make it about me, but I just kept, pressing play on the videos, sharing it with people, and I knew ultimately whoever shows the most wins, right? So if I showed enough people, then ultimately I would be successful at this, right? And just know that everybody has their own journey in World Ventures. Whenever I started this, sometimes it's hard to see. You see people walk stage, and it's like they hit rank really fast, and they're all of a sudden like in their first 4 days they get their POW, and then they hit residual income, and you're like, oh my gosh, how are they just making this look so easy, right? But everybody comes in at a different level of influence. And what I love about World Ventures, you don't have to learn how to become a salesperson. You don't have to know all the details. Like even to this day, I've never once read the detailed compensation plan, anything like that, at all. But you just learn to become a person of influence. And so everybody comes in at different levels of influence. Sometimes, and so don't ever get comparing your beginning to somebody else's middle or end of their race. But just know that it's a journey that's completely worth it. And if you can stay consistent at this for the next 3 to 5 years, you can really, truly become financially free. I believe that every single one of you guys sitting here in your chair, no matter what, how much debt you're in, no matter how much, little time you have, no matter what, if you just stay consistent at this in the next 3 to 5 years, you can be financially free. And that's the biggest thing that gets people, is we like that short term. We want to know, okay, if I work this many hours at work, then I get my paycheck on Friday, then I get my paycheck on Friday, and we're used to trading time for dollars, whereas this is something that's much different. At the beginning, you might feel like you're putting in a lot of work and not getting paid as much, but then it's cool because it all of a sudden gets to this tipping point where this thing starts to become really fun, and you start to the checks keep coming in and keep coming in, and you don't even have to look at your bank account or worry about that, and you just know that the checks are coming in and that your team's growing. But obviously, it takes a little bit of time and effort to get to that, but it's completely worth it. I don't remember the last time that I had to check my bank account or look at my bank account. Last year, went to Guatemala 2 different times, went to Jamaica, Vegas. We were on a trip as our whole family in Mexico. Just had so much fun last year. And 3.5 years ago, before I really started to build World Ventures, I used to have to check my bank account every time I went to the grocery store to see if I should buy the regular cereal or the off-brand cereal, right? And I just kept, I remember there were certain points when I signed up and I got super excited and I went and shared it with my closest best friends, and they told me no. And there was a point where I thought, man, is this worth it? None of my friends are joining, and I don't know if this is worth it. Some people come right out of the gates right away, and their closest 5 friends all join. And other people, that's not the case. But just know that ultimately, as long as you don't quit, then you're going to win at this thing. And that's what I love about it. If you just don't quit and you stay consistent, then you're going to win. So there's 5 main steps in my Fast Start training. The first step is to figure out your why. So why is it that you joined World Ventures? What made you decide to hop on board? Some people saw this and they're like, I just want to go on vacation and get my 4 people and waive my fees. Cool. Some people saw this and they want to be a W. Others saw this and thought, I want to be a stay-at-home mom with my kids. I want to be able to retire my wife. I want to not have to wake up early and set an alarm clock every morning. Right? Whatever your reason is for joining this, write down your why. And later on tonight, too, we can kind of delve deeper into it. And I think over time, your why is going to get bigger and bigger. But the bigger your why, the better. This is because it's good because it gives you perspective on why you're doing this. Sometimes you hear people talk about how they get burnt out with something. Well, it's not really that you've gotten burnt out, it's just that you've lost perspective. And so whenever you remind yourself, when you look at your sheet and you remember why you're doing this again, it makes you zoom out and kind of have more positive outlook on everything. It's actually funny, our pastor a couple weeks ago was talking about your why church, and I was like, oh, this is so perfect for World Ventures. But he was talking about how, sometimes you get in the routine and you go to work and you get home and it's late and you put the kids to bed, and finally you get downstairs, you clean up, you do the dishes, get stuff ready for tomorrow, take out the trash, and you lay down in bed and you're like exhausted. And then it's 3 a.m. and your baby's crying, and you have to go upstairs and go put your blanket back on your baby, and go back downstairs, and you're just exhausted, right? But then if you sit back and think about that why, and realize the reason why my baby cried out at 3 a.m. in the morning for me to put my blankie on her was because she knew, like, you're my mom and your daddy, and I can count on you when I need you. I can cry out to you when I need you. All of a sudden, that puts a whole different perspective on why you're having to get out of bed in the middle of the night. Does that make sense? So your why, that's so important. And I kind of talked a little bit long on that, but it's because I believe that's the most important part of this whole thing. If your why is big enough, then the how-tos, you're just going to figure it out. It doesn't matter. So have a big why. And again, over time, I think it'll kind of get bigger and bigger. They always say that you want your why to be big enough that it makes you cry. You don't have to cry, but the second step is to write your list of people. Now, initially, your list is just going to be your top, like, who are your closest best friends in the world? If you're going on a road trip to Colorado or a road trip to Vegas tomorrow night, who are you bringing with you? Who are you calling to have come with you? Who are your closest friends in the world? If you walk outside and all of a sudden all 4 tires on your car are slashed, your phone's at 1% battery, and you don't have AAA, who are you going to call? Right? So who are those close people to you? Those are the first people that we want to show this to. Eventually, you're going to do what's called a phone book and a Facebook dump and just write down a list of everybody that you know. But for now, tonight, just focus on getting your top 15 to 20 friends written down on a list. The third step is to invite them. Okay, so again, this is called an invite. It's not called present to them or tell them everything on the phone. It's called invite them. So what we want to do is we just want to invite them to either come see something like this every Tuesday, Thursday at 7, or you can invite them for coffee. If you just signed up tonight and it's 8:45, if you just signed up tonight, you can literally text your friend right now, hey, you home? And if it's your close friend, they're like, yeah, cool, I'm swinging by. That can be your invite. If it's with your best friend in the world, or you can text them, hey, coffee in the morning? Breakfast, question mark? Right, or coffee this week? So, that's just really simple. You're not sitting there saying travel and money and all this stuff. You're just clearing the time. And there's a lot of different invites that you can do, and I'm going to send you to a website that you can sort of look more into it. But just know for the invite, you need to have 2 main things, okay? The first step is to just clear the time. So whether you ask them to grab lunch, or coffee, or hey, are you free tomorrow at 7, you're clearing the time. Then, once the time is cleared, yeah, I'm free for coffee at, let's meet at Starbucks at 121 in Custard, right? Or, yeah, I'm free for lunch, let's meet at Panera at this time. Once you clear that, then you say, cool, I've got something I'm launching, can't wait to share with you. So again, I can say, cool, I've got this awesome travel deal, we're gonna make a lot of money, because then your friend's like, oh my gosh, what is this? I just say, this is something that I'm launching, right? Because professionals launch a business, amateurs join it. I don't want them to just see something that I'm joining. I'm launching a team, right? So that's even just like a little bit of a difference that you can make to show that you're really doing this and make your friends show that certainty. So that's the invite. After you invite them and you meet up with them, I always just press play on video. There's some presentations that you can use. You can do whatever you want, but for that video that you just saw, I literally go to vacationsooner, SOONER.com. and just press play on it. And right beforehand, I let them know, I share my why with them, why it is that I'm doing this. Serious talk. I share my why with them, and I just want to know how serious I am about this. And I say, hey, it may or may not be for you, but I just want you to check this out, right? And then the fourth step in the process is the close. Okay, and remember the second step? What was the second step? Yeah. So what you do at the end, like I have my list with me right there in my purse. So at the end of the video, I show them, hey, this is, oh, sorry, I thought you were ready to say.
Your phone. Yeah, when you put the phone next to the microphone.
Oh, I thought y'all were making that noise.
No,
sure, I'll do it. Sorry. I'm not a technological person. Okay, I don't need my phone for the rest of this anyways. What step was I on? Four? Closing. So, closing. Okay, so at the end of the video presentation, here's the biggest thing that you've got to have with this. You have to have certainty. Okay, you have certainty at where you're going. And I think that's the biggest reason why people don't win at this is they don't have certainty. And I don't need, but you know, a lot of times people are like, well, I can't have certainty because I don't even have my 4 yet. Like, I've been in this for a month, or I've been in this for a year, and I don't have success yet. That's okay. Certainty doesn't matter about any past success. You can be 0 left and 0 right and still have certainty about where you're going with this thing, right? So at the end of the video, I show my list. I say, listen, I'm sharing this with you right now, but I'm sharing it with this person, this person, this person later today, and then tonight I'm sharing it with this person. The rest of the week I'm sharing it with all these people, and I'm putting hundreds of people into this deal. Do you want to lock your spot? All right, that shows certainty. You know, but obviously you don't want to lie. You don't want to say, yeah, I'm putting 17 million people into this thing, right? You don't want to lie, but the thing is that you want to cast vision, and the difference between casting a vision and telling a lie is the amount of work that you put behind it. So don't be afraid to say something that might seem a little far-fetched or whatever. As long as you're willing to go out and put the work behind it, then you're casting that vision and it's going to come into fruition. You realize that Johnny Wimber, who's up here